under new copy rules, I think the power of the catalyst becomes an even more copy tool or more important tool. Shit. What's the power move?
And they added that catalyst, right? So it's like you were talking about saving a catalyst note for the end before the offer. So if you have a couple of things going on, saving, and they pivoted and did a couple different things, but I've been kind of using that technique too, saving a sliver, a piece of the catalyst for the end that you introduce right at the end, and when I say under new copy rules, right, like there's some things that were taken away, like can't use scarcity, can't limit spaces, can't say, use a ends in 4 hours. So by having a really strong catalyst, towards the end, you're building up a natural and inherent urgency that they can't pass this out with. And if it's strong and good enough, then you don't need to lean into some of those other things that we've maybe leaned into before about 100 spots today, whatever that is. So I just think that is a really smart and strong tool to help bolster why now, act today. You can't miss out by tagging a catalyst type of event before you lead into the offer. And especially, I really like the way that they did it, right? I don't know what it is verbatim, but it looked very familiar to me in terms of catalyst. Look, in my opinion, it's already happening. Look, here's a boatload of gains, but this is only just the beginning. And then you kind of make that segue. So that's what I was saying the power move was.
I agree. I like it too. Like I do think that and also if you force yourself to find more than one trigger when you're doing your research, there's knock-on effects of that. Like what the general backstory is. You could say, oh, COVID happened or something. I don't know, name something, some sort of catalyst, and grand worldwide catalyst sets the stage. And
Yep.
this is just like what happened in 1920s. Okay, so you got that big one. But then that you're going to have to say, like, we might even want to do, we might even want to like make this part of one of our new sort of idioms. I just learned that little phrase. I just learned. So maybe after you've done all that and you're about to start the offer, you drop and I just learned. So what is your I just learned, right? And that could be the final thing that, it's like the catalyst piece that you save until the end. What did you just learn? And by knowing ahead of time that you're going to have that section of copy, you will have more robust research as you're hunting that second or third catalyst piece down.
That's exactly right. And even if you may find something in your research for the first one, but maybe that's not the one, but you have that, that in your holster, the quick draw at the end. I just learned whatever it is, or something just happened for the first time in the history of the stock market is one that I've recently used for that kind of closing why now catalyst. That, again, in my opinion, using something like that, kind of in a relationship to a winter is coming, that you can't go out and say, you can't, depending on where you're at, you may not be able to say, I believe trades are going to get bigger, more explosive, or we're going to see more opportunities. But having a catalyst right there that kind of projects that similar message to bolster why now and why it's important to act today with whatever that looks like, I think is a super cool tool to have.
I agree. It's definitely going to make it into my brain, my knowledge that idea is going to be a thing for me. I'm going to exercise that. So again, that's kind of one of those cool things. Like in some ways, there are sections of this copy that feel garbled. Like, wait, weren't we just talking about proteomics and now we're talking about how this is possible? And feels like we're kind of walking out of step, especially if you're looking at it from a very mechanical perspective like I am, as opposed to a casual reader. But in doing so, we kind of just had this moment of aha, where it's like, wait, we don't have to load every piece of our world building section and what's happened in the world and why this is urgent. We don't have to load all that in the front. Whereas we can hold a little piece in our back pocket. And we might have, on one hand, you think you could maybe come to that conclusion yourself, but I really think that I'm not. I think that furthers the point that I've been trying to make, that I don't know. I haven't ever had like a creative thought or idea like in my life, in my opinion. It always comes from like reading, and then I have like my idea. That's not my idea. I saw it in this promo and I was like, hey, that's cool. I'm gonna borrow that. And you do enough of those until you can write really good copy. And I think that's how copywriters are made. I think they're built. I don't think it's a talent, it's a skill. And you accumulate And if you're doing deliberate practice, here's an age-old story that I've only heard of recently. I just learned. There was a story about this dude went to a frat party. He's driving. It's pouring rain. He sees a dude at the driving range hitting golf balls. He goes to the frat party. He gets pissed drunk. He's walking home. And anyway, he's heading home and he stops at the driving range. The guy's still hitting golf balls at 3 a.m. And he walks up to the dude and he says, "Dude, it's 3 a.m. What are you doing out here hitting golf balls in the rain?" Tiger Woods turns to him and says, "It never rains in California. This might be my only chance to practice in the rain." So that's deliberate practice. The story there is deliberate practice. He's not just swinging for the hell of swinging it. He's swinging to specifically hone that one element. And I feel like copy in a way is very much like that. There are pieces here that we can find little ways to pivot our hips, how to adjust and tweak our elbow, our shoulder dip, or raise it up. How's our spin look? There are all these little things that put together create one smooth swing. And so I think copy has a lot of that stuff in common where, we can start piecing all those pieces together and have an amazing drive.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
What's up, Copy Squad? I hope you found that useful, and if you'd like to actually join our private conversations in full and get some of this actionable advice for your copy or business, I invite you to check out copysquad.net/join. Here you can sign up for our highest, most exclusive level group, the Copy Squad Inner Circle. Every week we alternate between 2 types of live meetings to keep our conversation fresh around copy and continually grow our skills together. So one week we take member submissions and questions and we go over user copy, and then the next week we'll do sales letter breakdowns of top tier 7- and 8-figure sales letters by some of the best copywriters and businesses in the game. So that rotates every week. One week we take submissions, the next week we do a sales letter breakdown. These calls are attended by myself, my current writing team, and even some of my previous writers are also regulars on these calls. So there's top tier talent attending all of these calls. We also have a brand new Slack channel for members to share ideas, their copy, experiences, insights, and keep up with our program announcements. So all you got to do is go to this page, copysquad.net/join. Choose whether you want a yearly or monthly membership, and then you can have access to one of the highest performing, most elite copy groups on the planet. Thanks so much for tuning in, and peace out, Copy Squad.